Hello, good to see you. This is a video on how report cards and assessment works in my classroom. Excuse me as I become tiny. So this is a proficiency scale, and you can see that there are 4 points to the proficiency scale. There's emerging, developing, proficient, and extending, and these do not correlate to like a letter grade where extending would be A, proficient would be B, developing would be C, and emerging would be D. The way that it works is that when I teach, I have explicit learning goals for every subject area. Sometimes I have different or multiple learning goals, and sometimes we work on the same learning goal over and over and over again. When we do that, I'm able to collect how the students are doing and see if they have what we would call emerging, an initial understanding of that learning goal, developing a partial understanding, proficient a thorough understanding, and extending would be a sophisticated understanding. So emerging, this would be the student that can say, I'm still learning this, initial understanding. Developing would be the student that has a partial understanding, which means I can do some of this when I think about the goal. Proficient would be, I've got this, or I can do this. This is an accomplishing area. And then extending is interesting because it's sophisticated understanding. You might be able to say, I can do this and more, but that and more has a caveat. That does not mean I can do more of the same thing. It means that I can take my learning further or deeper. So when I teach, the goal is then shifted to another level. And a lot of opportunities in the class for extending are in what teachers call the next level of like sophistication or Bloom's taxonomy. So I wouldn't have a student just continue to multiply fractions over and over and over again, because extending does not mean exceeding. It means a deeper understanding. An example of extending would maybe be a student who is able to read a text and analyze it. Extending would be a student that could read a text and synthesize it with a second text. So it's like an opportunity to go deeper. It's not just doing it over and over again. So then you get a report card, and there's a proficiency or like an assessment for so far this year in these subject areas. This is where the student is at. The way that I do that is I look for trends across what we have done so far this year. If by what students are giving me that they are trending in the direction that they are proficient, that they've got this, they would have proficient on their mid-year report card. If they are trending in a way that they still don't quite understand everything, then you might see that they're developing. The last thing I'll say is that everyone has areas to improve. It's not just a check mark of needs to improve or not. And almost every subject area gets an anecdotal comment where I will write a way for the students to improve. So that's how it all works.